this finished? This work is an embarrassment. You are useless, Zainab. Do you hear me?
How dare you disobey me? This is unacceptable. You will learn respect, Zainab. Mark my words.
In the busy town of Ala Odo, where traders shouted prices from dawn till dusk, and the smell of fried akara mixed with dust, stood a popular tailoring shop called Madame Rose Fashion House. Everyone knew the shop. Everyone feared the woman who owned it. Madame Rose was rich, loud, and powerful. She wore expensive lace wrappers, heavy gold bangles, and shoes that clicked angrily on the floor whenever she walked. But behind her fine clothes lived a heart as hard as stone. She ruled her shop with insults instead of kindness. Her apprentices came and went like dry leaves in Hamatan. Some left crying. Some ran away at night. Some swore never to learn tailoring again. Madame Rose didn't care. There are many hungry girls outside, she always said. If one leaves, 10 will come. One morning, a thin young girl named Zainab was brought to the shop by her uncle. Zainab was just 18. She had kind eyes, quiet manners, and hands that trembled slightly when she spoke. "Madam," her uncle pleaded, bowing slightly, "please take her as your apprentice. Her parents are late. She wants to learn a skill." Madame Rose looked Zainab up and down with contempt. "Can she even survive here?" she scoffed. "This is not a place for weaklings." Zainab lowered her head. "I will try, Ma." Madame Rose laughed loudly. "Try? We shall see." From the first day, Zainab tasted bitterness. She swept the shop before sunrise. She fetched water. She washed clothes. She cooked food she was not allowed to eat. She sewed till her fingers ached. And for every small mistake, Madame Rose shouted, "Are you blind? Is this how your useless mother trained you? Stupid girl." Sometimes Madame Rose slapped her. Sometimes she threw needles at her. Sometimes she locked her outside the shop till midnight as punishment. Other apprentices pitied Zainab. "Why don't you run?" they whispered. Zainab always shook her head. "If I leave, where will I go?" Unknown to Madame Rose, Zainab was learning more than sewing. She watched how customers were treated. She watched how fabrics were chosen. She listened when business deals were discussed. She learned silence, and silence made her strong. One evening, Madame Rose accused Zainab of stealing money. "I kept 50,000 naira here," she screamed, pointing at the drawer. "You thief, bring it now." Zainab fell to her knees. "Madam, I didn't touch it." Madame Rose slapped her hard. "Liar!" The money was later found inside Madame Rose's own handbag, but no apology came. Instead, Madame Rose said, "If I didn't find it, you would have gone to prison." That night, Zainab cried quietly on her mat, but deep inside her heart, something changed. She stopped crying loudly. She started observing carefully. Years passed. Zainab grew from a timid girl into a skilled young woman. Her stitches were neat. Her designs were beautiful. Customers secretly requested that Zainab sew their clothes. But Madame Rose noticed, and jealousy entered her heart. "Why do customers like you?" Madame Rose snapped one day. "Don't get proud." She reduced Zainab's food. She increased her work. She refused to let her attend fashion exhibitions. Still, Zainab endured. One day, a rich woman from the city entered the shop. She admired a dress sewn by Zainab. "This is beautiful," she said. "Who made it?" Madame Rose quickly replied, "I did." Zainab kept quiet. The woman smiled. "I want 10 pieces. I will pay well." That night, Madame Rose forced Zainab to sew non-stop for 3 days. When the job was done, Madame Rose collected all the money. She gave Zainab nothing. That night, Zainab didn't cry. She made a decision. Slowly, secretly, Zainab began sewing at night using leftover fabrics. She saved small money customers secretly tipped her. She learned business skills from a kind customer who noticed her talent. Then fate intervened. One afternoon, Madame Rose traveled to another town for a wedding. She left Zainab in charge of the shop. That day, something magical happened. Customers came in large numbers. Zainab welcomed them politely. She spoke kindly. She took measurements with care. Customers were happy. They paid willingly. By evening, the shop made more money than it had in weeks. But trouble followed. Madame Rose returned unexpectedly and found customers praising Zainab. "She's better than you," one woman said carelessly. Madame Rose's eyes darkened. That night, she beat Zainab. "You want to overthrow me?" she screamed. "I will show you who owns this shop." The next morning, Madame Rose destroyed Zainab's sewing kit, tore her fabrics, and locked her out. "Leave my house," she shouted. "You are nothing." Zainab stood in the street with tears in her eyes, but her back was straight. Something had died inside her, fear, and something else was born, purpose. Zainab left Ala Odo with nothing but courage. She slept in a friend's room. She borrowed a machine. She started sewing again. Slowly, her name spread. "Go to Zainab," people said. "She's humble. She's talented." Within a year, Zainab opened a small shop. Within 3 years, it became big. Within 5 years, she became successful. Meanwhile, Madame Rose's shop began to fail. Apprentices left. Customers complained. Her pride refused to let her change. One day, Madame Rose walked into a fashion exhibition. She froze. There, in front of everyone, stood a large banner, Zainab Fashion Empire. Zainab stood confidently, dressed elegantly, smiling peacefully. Their eyes met. Madame Rose felt shame crawl into her bones. Zainab walked over and greeted her respectfully. "Good afternoon, Ma?" Madame Rose couldn't speak. Zainab continued softly. "You taught me tailoring, but life taught me kindness." Madame Rose broke down in tears. "I was wicked," she sobbed. "Forgive me." Zainab held her hands. "I forgive you," she said. "But learn this. Power without kindness destroys itself." That day, the wicked madam learned the lesson of her life, and Ala Odo never forgot the story. Moral lesson: cruelty creates enemies, patience creates destiny, and sometimes the quietest apprentice becomes the greatest teacher.